If you didn't want your photos stolen, you shouldn't have taken them. What was she thinking going out dressed like that? She could have left, but she didn't. It's her own fault she has a black eye now. I mean, let's be honest, she was kind of asking for it, getting that drunk. Whoa! Hold up just a hot minute. What are you even saying right now?
Hindsight is 2020. Was I the only one who caught that trigger warning? Nah. Oh, I was just pointing out, it has no relevancy to the rest of this video.
Babes, there are a few things that hurt my soul so much as a little thing called victim blaming. I'm gonna be talking about sex crimes in this video, but victim blaming has all kinds of applications. The mentality is that by engaging in certain behaviors, they ask for it to happen.
Yeah, you know, honestly, this whole prevalent victim blaming mindset is doesn't really sound too much like reality to me. I mean, granted, you know, according to Murphy's Law, anything that can happen will happen, so I'm sure there are indeed some people that do think that participating in a particular act means that you deserve or, were asking for something bad to happen to you. But I don't really think that that's the mindset most normal people have. I think the mindset that most normal people have is that cause and effect. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? No one is really saying, okay, again, there are some people who do say this, but as a whole, no one is really saying that it's ever a victim's fault if something bad happens to them. But I do think a lot of people are saying is that you can learn from your mistakes. That is one very important thing. Now, granted, if someone does attack you or if someone steals something from you, again, technically it's not really your fault unless, of course, you actually did something to cause the effect, of course, such as, you know, if you kick someone in the balls and they punch you back in the face. Well, I mean, you know, I don't know what you were expecting, right? I think what most people are saying is that, you know, you can learn from your mistakes. At least that's what I say. That's what I'm saying usually, you know, a wise man learns from his mistakes.
Common blameworthy offenses include going out at night, taking nude photos, wearing tight clothing, short skirts, being promiscuous, getting drunk. Notice anything about that list?
I don't know, it all kinds of sounds like shit that usually young ladies participate in, but I'm pretty sure that was your objective, right, Lacey?
Yeah, all those things that people claim are asking for it are actually rights and freedoms that every human being is entitled to.
Yeah, exactly. And for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, again, not very many people are saying it's your fault if, you know, something bad happens to you, unless, of course, you are indeed the cause and you suffer the effect. But there's always consequences to your actions. Sometimes they're direct, sometimes they're indirect. That's just the way it is.
And when I say human, I do include women in that group.
Holy fucking shit. Really? Really? You include women in the category of being a human being? Isn't that just the most profound statement ever, right? That is the statement to end all fucking statements. When I talk about human beings, I include women too, considering the fact that most human beings come from other fucking women. That whole human being thing kind of goes without saying, doesn't it? Fuck. I hate it when feminists say that shit.
This is how bizarre victim blaming sounds to me. Your identity was stolen? Why were you using a credit card? If you had used cash, this never would have happened.
Hindsight's 2020.
They punched you in the face? Where was your protective helmet?
That's a good question, because hindsight's 2020.
You were mugged? What were you wearing? A suit? Everyone's trying to make money. You don't have to flaunt the fact that you have some. It's basically asking them to steal from you.
Yeah, if he was walking down the street of a bad neighborhood or somewhere deep in the projects and he was flashing the fact that he had a whole bunch of money around a group of people who, I don't know, it's kind of life and death out there when you really think about it, you know, with the whole welfare system and food stamps, you know, I don't really know what he was expecting. I'm not really sure why he thought that was a fantastic idea. Hey, but it's a great thing that hindsight is 2020. I bet you won't be doing that shit again. At least not anytime soon.
Okay, enough bad acting. Do you get my drift?
Yes, hindsight is 2020. At least I think. Now, of course, that's not what you're saying. If that's what you were saying, well then, you would actually have a pretty coherent point. So, let's just keep going.
problem with blaming the victim is that it's the predator that caused the crime, not the victim or their clothing or their pictures. Fun fact, actually it's not that fun. Crimes happen when perpetrators choose to violate someone.
Holy fucking shit. That almost sounds like the definition of the word criminal now, doesn't it? One who commits a crime. I mean, that whole crimes happen when criminals do bad things kind of goes without saying again, considering the definition of the word criminal as one who commits a crime. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, statements like those, of course, okay, like without the cause, there'd be no effect. Like, that's literally third grade, that's elementary school reasoning right there, okay? If there was no rock, okay, if someone threw a rock at you and it hit you upside the head, well, I mean, saying that, well, if he didn't have a rock, I wouldn't have gotten hit upside the head kind of goes without saying. I mean, yeah, the statement is true, but, I mean, there's nothing telling in that statement. The same way of saying, well, if there's no camera, you wouldn't be able to record the video. Well, okay, yeah, it's a true statement, but it's so true and it's so obvious that it kind of, there's no real reason to point it out. I mean, it's not complex. Like, yeah, if rapists rape people, that criminals commit crimes. Yes.
Rape, sexual assault, theft, harassment, non-consensual distribution of sexual photos. Those are all decisions that someone made to violate another person.
Ironically, so is dressing very provocatively and taking nude photos. I mean, those are all decisions that people have made. And granted, while it may not be your fault if someone decides to grab you, throw you down on the street, and rape you, and actually, according to feminists, most rape doesn't even actually occur on the street. It actually occurs between people that the victim knows. So, I mean, the point that I'm making, or the point that I was attempting to make, is that, well, yes, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, okay? Taking naked pictures, okay, again, it kind of goes without saying, okay? If those girls never took those pictures, the fact never would have happened. Yeah, okay, but I mean, it technically isn't their fault. I mean, but they do kind of have to live with it and kind of have to own up to what happened. And now, guess what? Through a bad action that happened to them, all those other girls, or all those other women or young ladies who took naked pictures, went straight to their iCloud and deleted all of that shit that they probably had no idea even existed. So, through all of these famous celebrities' sacrifice of their privacy, which they had already done considering the fact that they're celebrities, well, now they have just saved the pride of thousands of other people in general. That is, if these people decide to be wiser men and learn from the mistakes of others. Okay, granted, what happened to those girls kind of sucked. I kind of covered that in the fact thing, right? And it's not really their fault. They're just kind of doing shit that normal people do, or at least normal girls do nowadays. I don't know very many men who take naked pictures, but granted, there could very well be. I just don't know. But the point that I'm making is that you can learn from other people's mistakes, and you can learn from your own mistakes. And that's what you like to call victim blaming. It's not victim blaming, it's just called being wise. It's gaining wisdom. It's experiencing something bad and taking something good out of it. Now, again, does it suck that that happened to them? Yeah, I'm not saying that it was a fantastic thing, at least not for them. I mean, for me, I felt pretty good about it. But, yeah, I mean, you can learn from your mistakes, Lacey. That's not victim blaming. I mean, if someone says, okay, well, maybe next time you shouldn't have taken those naked pictures, okay? You really shouldn't have. But what's done is done. Well, now, guess what? You're not going to take them naked pictures no more. And if you do, well, sorry, I don't feel bad for you if another nude leak happens to you again. I just don't.
There are 5 big problems with blaming the victims of sex crimes. First and foremost, and what I feel should be the most obvious, is that it protects sexual predators. Why do we do that so much?
Yeah, except, we don't, Lacey. Why don't you go chat with all of those innocent black men who just got out of jail for some false rape allegations, right? I mean, I'm just saying, like, I know I bring that up a lot, but there are still people getting out of jail to this day over some fucking false rape allegations. And we protect them so much. What happened to all of those? I remember back in the day, I'll have to go find an article or a link, but I think 3 lacrosse players actually got kicked out of freaking school over a false rape allegation that occurred to them. Again, I'll go find the information after I'm done recording all this video stuff. But I mean, I don't see very many rapists ever get protected or coddled. I've never fucking seen that shit happen. I've seen people kind of have some empathy and feel sorry for them, but I mean, they still went to fucking jail, and they still probably got raped by some nigga in jail. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, Lacey. I've never seen that shit happen before.
Sometimes I hear people say things like, men rape people. That's the way it is. And then I start backing away very slowly.
You know, I struggled so much with the irony of what she just fucking said. I really did. Like I heard it the first time and I was like, fuck. It's like you do know that it is feminists who walk around saying that all heterosexual sex is rape and that all men are potential rapists, right? Like you know that, right? Because if you did, well then you would probably understand exactly why that statement was incredibly fucking ironic and really fucking hilarious to me. Let's just keep going.
It's also super degrading. Most men are good people, and those that aren't choose not to be. When we say absurd things like men can't control themselves, it enables those who are choosing to commit crimes. They know they'll be dismissed, coddled, protected. They won't be held accountable. That's got to change.
Yeah, except that's a load of fucking shit, Lacey. Rapists are never protected by the US government, okay? At least not protected in the sense that people think that it's okay. I mean, you are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Unless you're black or Mexican, well then you're guilty until proven innocent, right? So, I mean, Lacey, again, you are under this idea that we live in a rape culture, which is why you probably don't see this. But I mean, there have been several times where somebody has been falsely accused of rape, and their lives were completely fucking destroyed by it, okay? Like, just destroyed. Not even proven, you know? I mean... there's a lot of power in a false rape allegation. Shit, fuck that. There's a lot of power in a false stalking allegation. I mean, I had to learn that firsthand. So, Lacey. Yeah, my bullshit meter is it's too high. It's so high. I'm stuttering right now. Like that's shit. Fuck, huh? I don't know. Do you live in America? Does fucking rapists get caught? What the fuck?
Yeah, but too, this is how, instead of preventing crime, victim blaming actually invites more crime.
Are you going to explain that? Probably not. So let me see if I can try to figure this out on my own. I think what Lacey is saying is that, well, when we blame the victim, when we say it's the victim's fault for what happened, and again, as I said earlier in this video, not very many people actually do that. But when we say that it is indeed the victim's fault for the crime, well, then other people begin to say, oh, well, hey, I can do bad things and people are going to blame the victim. Even though I know it's a fucking bad thing and I know it's not the victim's fault, I'm going to do it anyway and all of society is going to blame that victim for what happened instead of getting upset with me, even though that's not fucking true at all. So, yeah, I think that's what she's trying to say. If it isn't, I don't know. I wish she would have gone into a little more detail.
Number 3. Victim blaming makes it hard for justice to be served. Those real-life attitudes are in Congress, they're in police forces, they're splattered across the media. They're bearing down on the brave survivor who's decided to seek justice when the cross-examiner asks her how short her skirt was.
Okay, now I've heard this several times, and I am thoroughly convinced that a lot of people don't really understand, cross-examiners, or don't really understand why police officers ask how short your skirt was, or what you were wearing, or what did you look like at the time of the accident. You kind of have to understand, and granted, police officers aren't the most fantastic people in the world, and I mean, there are some great officers who love what they do, and they're fit, and they're great people, and they really want to help other people, and then you have the corrupted cops who are, you know, helping drug dealers, you know, facilitate drugs, and you know, we have corrupted people in all facets of life. So let's go into this topic, understanding that. So when a police officer asks a rape victim, or a victim who claims she's been raped, what were you wearing? The point in that is threefold. There's 3 reasons why they do that, at least from what I gather. Reason number 1, they're trying to recreate the scenario in their minds. They're trying to understand what took place, and they're trying to get you to revisit that so they can get as much information as they can. And while it may indeed be traumatic, that's something you're going to have to go through if you want to obtain justice. Sorry, that's just the way the world works. I didn't make up the US justice system, I just understand how corrupted it is. I mean, I'm sorry. If you're going to have to recount what happened several fucking times to the judge and the jury and to the cross-examiner and to the police officer. That's just the way the world works. I don't really understand what you want. So that's first. They have to recreate the situation in their mind so they can get a good understanding of what happened. Now, reason number 2. I imagine that they are trying to find a pattern, right? I imagine when they ask you, how short was your skirt or what were you wearing, they're trying to establish a pattern. They're trying to see if this was either a one-time event, when this one rapist just randomly attacked you, or if he's a serial rapist, and maybe, now just maybe, they have other cases of rape, and they're trying to see if the conditions are similar. Maybe. I could be completely wrong. Maybe they're just insensitive assholes and they just want to make you feel bad for wearing a short skirt. Reason number 3. I guess again I could just be completely fucking wrong, but I remember I was watching a video that Mr. ANCAP made, and he said that one thing that police officers do is that they will actually take an old clip of when one old police officer died, or when he messed up, or he did something wrong, and they will re-watch that clip over and over and over again to figure out what he did so they can learn from his mistakes. Now, it is entirely fucking possible that by asking how short your skirt was or what were you wearing, their intent is to try to apply what they learned in police school or police academy onto you, the normal victim. So that way, you can avoid this shit from happening again. God forbid, we try to figure out solutions to this whole rape crisis thing. Now, I guess, again, could just be completely fucking wrong, and they're all just sexist, and they just hate women so fucking much that they have the audacity to ask them what they were wearing at the time of a fucking crime, as if that doesn't happen to anybody else who ever talks to a fucking cross-examiner. But, I'm just some misogynistic black guy on the internet, so what do I know?
Number 4. In the context of sex crimes, victim blaming often fuels misogyny.
No, Lacey. I don't think it's victim blaming that fuels misogyny. If there's anything that fuels misogyny, it is perhaps the squeakiness of your voice. But it's not victim blaming, and you're not going to find very many men who hate women for no fucking reason. You're just not. It's just not the world that we live in. At least not America. I mean, do you live in America? I mean, if you didn't, if you didn't, I would give you a pass on that one. But it fuels misogyny. Oh my gosh, I can't stand that.
Sometimes I hear people talk about how she needs to face the consequences for her actions.
You idiot. Everybody has to face the consequences of their actions. No one is absolved of facing the consequences of their actions. Sorry. In
this bizarre mindset, violation is framed as a deserved punishment, usually for a woman who's stepped out of line. In this way, victim blaming creates this never-ending list of rules that women are supposed to abide by in order to have their humanity respected.
You gotta be kidding me. Did this asshole actually put self-defense on a list of things that people should do to prevent violent crimes from happening to them? As if that's just not something that everybody should be fucking doing? Okay, listen. Let me level with you here for a second, Lacey. Okay, granted, I understand that you don't want to take precautions into preventing bad things from happening to you for whatever fucking reason, but bad things happen to good people, and I know, because bad things happen to me all the fucking time. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best person in the world, but yeah, I've had my fair share of random bullshit occurring. And so, being prepared for bad situations is not saying that it's your fault. If a bad situation happens, it's not saying that at all, because it's not your fault. Unless you are the cause of the effect, okay? Unless you walked up to someone who said, I'm a rapist, and you took your clothes off, and you said, rape me. Well, technically, that's not rape. That's just really aggressive sex anyway. Okay, so, I mean, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Okay? I've been saying that throughout the course of my fucking video. It's not your fault. Something bad happens to you. But there are consequences for your actions. Unless you are the specific cause to the effect, it's not your fault. So, if you wear a short skirt and somebody forcibly rapes you, is it your fault? No. Does that mean that you could not have prevented it? No, you could have, if you learned martial arts. It's not saying that it's your fault. It's just saying that you could have prevented it. That those are two completely different concepts in its entirety. Let's finish this.
I mean, shit, we're taught from the time that we're little girls to fear men's attacks if we do something wrong. Like, how sick is that?
If there is anything to fear, would it not be the attack of some individual you don't know? And I mean, if you were taught that from since you were a little girl, you'd think that it would happen a lot less. Oh, wait a second, hold on. It does actually happen a lot less. So, yeah. Ironically speaking, most violent crimes actually happen to other men. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of statistics, and I don't like trusting statistics all too much. But I mean, I wouldn't be too shocked or surprised if most violent crime actually happens to the other fucking men. So, let's keep going.
And why are we so quick to defend men's freedom, including the freedom to commit crimes, while handing women a long list of restrictions on our everyday lives?
Oh my gosh. You don't have the freedom to commit a crime. Because if you did, by definition of the fucking word, it wouldn't be a crime. That's the first thing. The second thing, Lacey, who the fuck does you? That may have perhaps have been the most asinine fucking statement in their entire video. That we as Americans protect men's freedom to commit crimes. No one fucking does that, because if we did, we wouldn't have a fucking justice system, Lacey, where specific actions such as rape, where the definition of rape is actually forcible penetration of the male penis to the female's vagina, which means men technically can't even be raped in the fucking court of law. Okay, this is really difficult for me, I'm sorry. Sometimes people say just some of the dumbest shit, and sometimes I just can't even fucking take it. Like, the freedom to commit a crime, you can't. Okay, let's move on from that point. Giving women a long list of things to do to protect themselves. I mean, men have that too, Lacey. Men have that fucking too. Okay, Trayvon Martin was fucking followed around, and he got in a fight with George Zimmerman, and he got shot. And it doesn't matter whose side you're on. I mean, someone died in that altercation. Same thing happened to, Anyway, I'm just gonna move on. The point is, man, that's just people. That's just human beings. There are certain things you can do to reduce the risk of bad things from happening to you, but it doesn't mean bad things won't fucking happen to you. Okay?
Lastly, number 5, when we live in this culture that's hell-bent on blaming the victim, it should come as no surprise that the victims blame themselves too. There's a whole series of mental gymnastics that rape survivors go through. What did I do wrong? How could I have prevented this from happening to me? Reality is, they did nothing wrong. The predator was wrong. Men and children are raped as well. Were they really asking for it by dressing slutty? I don't think so. This re-victimizes them, and it creates a stigma that makes it so hard to pursue justice because they don't think they deserve it. And they know the world doesn't think they deserve justice either.
So, I've watched countless videos like this. No, I'm sorry, I apologize. I've watched lots of videos that have said that the victim did nothing wrong. And I've seen this time and time and time again. And even I myself have said that. That the victim, it's not really your fault if something bad happens to you, but that doesn't mean that you can't find some way to prevent it. That's what I say all the fucking time. And yeah, you know, of course, you know, we have to have empathy for people who have actually gone through this stuff. And we should not just immediately believe anybody who does bad things, you know. We should never just immediately believe a woman if she says she's been raped. The reason why is because lots of women have lied about being raped. And if you're a feminist and you're upset that I don't immediately believe any woman because she said that someone was stalking her or raped her, do not get upset with me. Get upset with all of the women who lied about that shit. If some girl comes up to me and says some guy was stalking her, don't get mad at me if I have to say, well, you're gonna have to prove that shit to me. Get upset with the one bitch who lied and said that I was stalking her. Sorry. That being said, questioning somebody or trying to figure out if someone was actually raped is not fucking victim blaming, and it's not protecting the rapist. It's called the U.S. court system. That's how it works. Okay? You are supposed to be innocent until you're proven guilty. That's just the way it is. That's how it was constructed by the people who created it. I understand you don't like it, and I understand that, you know, it's really hard and it's harsh and you gotta go through it, but if you want justice, you have to go through it. The next thing, which is far more important than justice, mind you, is a healing from bad experiences. If you have been raped and you have not taken the appropriate steps to heal from the trauma, you have something more important than trying to get this guy put in jail. Because whether or not he gets put in jail or not, if you're still carrying that weight, you're still crippled. Whether or not he faces the consequences, it doesn't matter if he's in jail getting raped by someone else. If you're still affected, and if you're still scared of men, or you're still scared of going out at night, he still has power over you. Your primary objective should be to heal and to recover from bad things that happen to you. And it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's the easiest thing in the world to do, but that's what you should be gunning for. And, you know, self-reflection, if you sit here and you ask, you know, did I do anything wrong? That's perfectly fine. Ask, did I do anything wrong? And if the answer is no, then keep going, go through the steps to heal. If the answer is yes, figure out, what did I do wrong? Maybe I shouldn't have been drinking so much. That way I would have been in my right frame of mind. Maybe, now just maybe, I shouldn't have gone to this party in this side of town that I've never been here before. It's okay to ask those questions. And it's okay to learn from decisions that you've made. It's not saying that it's your fault if someone made the decision to attack you, but what it is saying is that you and other people can learn from your mistakes. Or maybe you didn't make any mistakes at all. The only way you're going to know that is with self-reflection and is with healing from bad experiences. And again, it's not easy, but it's the most important thing you need to do. With that being said, I'm fucking done with Lacey's video. I can't take this shit anymore. Guys, if you liked this video, please go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comments below. And as always, have a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.